MCARBO, brother. I'm Chris Nelson, president of MCARBO. Really excited to introduce the new Browning A-Bolt and A-Bolt 2 trigger spring kit for your older production A-Bolt rifles. So the A-Bolt 1, essentially, and the A-Bolt 2 is what this is for. If you've got an AB3, we got another kit for you. You don't need to be watching this video. And the other thing that'll give it away is, if you look at the last 3 digits of your serial number, if it's something other than 358, right, this is an example, but it'd be these last 3 digits, anything other than 358, you're in the right place. All right, 358 is a designation for the AB3. So here it is for the original A-Bolt and the A-Bolt 2. We've got a spring kit option for you to reduce your trigger pull. Really impressive, 60% trigger pull reduction. Fantastic. Let's jump on over to the tabletop, put this baby in. Before we get started, let's go ahead and check our firearms together, make sure they're clear. Check the chamber, check the bolt face, check the magazine. This firearm's clear. Let's see what kind of factory trigger pull we're working with. 1 pound, 3.4 ounces. Let's take one more confirm. 1 pound, 2.8 ounces. Parts and tools needed for this build: the Browning A-Bolt, A-Bolt 2 trigger spring kit by MCARBO, a 1/16 inch punch, hammer, regular tip, flathead screwdriver, smaller tip, flathead screwdriver. This is for adjusting trigger pull, bench block, and as always, guys, make sure you're wearing eye pro. Real quick, just want to point out the serial number system that Browning uses. You see these 2 letters here. This is how you'll actually figure out the date of manufacture, and then these 3 numbers here at the tail end of your serial number, this will tell you the model. So with this kit, it's very important to know which type of rifle you have, whether you have the original A-Bolt, the A-Bolt 2, or the AB3 rifle. Now, the way you're going to do that is you'll be able to tell because of these designators here. All this information's on the MCARBO website, but if you look at here, A-Bolt, it'll tell you all these 3-digit combinations. Now, some of them have letters, some have numbers, and that's here on the tail of the serial number. All right. Now, one important thing here, AB3, the new rifle, it's a 358 on the tail end of your serial number. So if you're not sure what you have, you shouldn't be putting this kit in if you have a 358 on the end of your serial number. Now, if you have anything other than that, it's a good chance you've got an A-Bolt or an A-Bolt 2. Just want to point that out. All that other information, all these details you can get on the website. Let's get on with the installation. Now you can see on this rifle here, really nice actually, by the way. I'm a big fan of the A-Bolt and the A-Bolt 2. They did a heck of a job on these firearms. Really beautiful rifles. Really happy to have one. You'll notice on this serial number here, right, there's 2 letters in the middle of the serial number. I've got an N and a V, all right? And that's the date of manufacture. And if you look at that little serial number code there, you can see the N is a 9 and the V is a 5. So this was manufactured in 1995, and you'll see at the end there 317. If you look here, A-Bolt 2 317, it's a medallion. All right, pretty handy. I like the way they did the serial number system. It's good. You know, it's a much more uniform standard across the board to tell you when it was manufactured and what specific model you have. Really good. Well done, Browning. So we begin by removing the bolt. Go ahead and hit the bolt release on the side and then pull back on the bolt all the way out. All right, set that aside. Now we're going to go ahead and turn it upright. I'm going to leave the scope on. Most of the time we recommend removing the scope. I'm just going to use a couple microfiber towels. This installation is real simple, easy, and fast. And I'm just going to rest it just like that on the table. I'm even going to hold it with one hand and use the other hand to unscrew everything. Go ahead and hit the magazine release. And then we're going to loosen up these takedown screws, starting with the rear takedown screw and then the front takedown screw. And just back and forth till we get them both out. Now you'll see this one in the front is what holds the magazine in place. All right, comes right out. I'm going to go ahead and leave the takedown screw with it, make life simpler. And then the rear trigger guard comes out with the rear takedown screw. I'm going to leave that together as well. Set that aside. And they are different sizes. The front takedown screw is much wider than the rear takedown screw if you got them mixed up. Now we can go ahead and separate the stock, pull up on the stock. All right. This barrel lug may be really stuck in there if it's been a while since you removed it. So don't worry if it doesn't come off as easily as that. I've already taken it off and cleaned it a little bit, so you may have to give it a good pull. But there it is. Let's focus on the trigger assembly. Now let's focus on the Browning A-Bolt, A-Bolt 2 trigger assembly. Now you have an adjustment setting here on the trigger, so you can lighten up the trigger pull a little bit by tightening it clockwise. And this one's pretty much already lightened up as much as it can be. All right, so going clockwise, and there it is. So that's it. Now, if it's too light, go counterclockwise, and you'll notice when you do that, it's actually going to put more tension on it. So here, I'm going to go counterclockwise so you can see how it creates more tension on it. You see those coils getting tighter together, right? And that's pretty much tapped out right there. It won't even move. So then we go the other way, going clockwise, it's loosening it up. So that's an easy adjustment there. This one we got used off Gunbroker, so I don't know how many rounds have been through it. I think it's pretty well broken in. I mean, all these parts are worn in together really well. Trigger pull is pretty light to start with. So we're going to pay attention more to the trigger reduction percentage more than we are what the starting and the ending trigger pull is. That'll give us a better gauge as to what it's going to do for you. So depending on where you're starting with your A-bolt or A-bolt 2, that'll be a better, more consistent idea of what you can expect to get based on the percentage. All right, so now let's go ahead and just proceed with the disassembly. Real simple. We're going to tap out this trigger hinge pin right here. So you're going to take your 1/16 inch punch, line it up with the pin, take your hammer if you need it, but in this case you don't. You just push right through and it's done. And you heard it just pop through. Now the pin, it'll go through either way, all right? There's no tapers or anything like that on this pin. It's just smooth, you know, from end to end, same diameter. Now we can go ahead and remove our punch, push down on your trigger though, keeping that tension captured, and we're gonna slowly release it. All right, there we go. Now we can pull off that factory spring there. See how it pulls right off of that adjustment screw. All right, here's the factory spring here. Okay, pretty thick spring. All right, we'll do a little comparison here. All right, let's go ahead and grab our MCARBO Browning A-Bolt 2 trigger spring kit. All right, much lighter spring replacement. Let's go ahead and pop it open and compare the two. All right, here's the MCARBO spring here. Wow. Much lighter. You can see that MCARBO spring on the right there just jumping around. This factory spring is just stiff as a board. But that MCARBO spring is really moving. So there we go. You're going to get much more range of motion right here with the MCARBO spring. So we'll put this factory spring aside. Let's put the MCARBO spring right in. Real simple and easy. Doesn't matter which way you put it in. All right, just going to put it right in that adjustment screw right there. Slides right on. All right. Nice, shiny, beautiful spring steel. All right. Now we just want to make sure we get those teeth captured on top of it. All right, and then we're pushing down, holding tension on it, grabbing our hinge pin. Okay, and it helps to have that block as well because you can press down on the block. So we're going to take our hinge pin. Doesn't matter which way you get it started. Just go ahead and push it in. All right, and then we're going to hold tension on that trigger while holding that pin, right? And then we're going to push down on our block, and this allows us to work from the top. We can take our punch and line it up, and boom, falls right into place just like that, which is awesome because you're using the weight of the rifle to basically do the work for you. All right, wow, that's already lighter. That's amazing. And you can make adjustments here on this set screw if you like. If you need to go lighter or heavier, it's just now you've got a good starting point. You're super light, you're in that sweet spot now. So let's go ahead and put this baby back together. All right, now it's just a matter of putting stock back onto the barrel receiver group. So just make sure this barrel lug seats fully into the stock. You'll see that here in a second. Also notice you've got this little reinforcement plate down here inside the stock. This may have just fallen out, right? It might be easier to go ahead and just locate this plate in the necessary position right there over top of that stud. And we're gonna sit our stock right on top. These are some really beautiful stocks on these A-bolts. A-bolt and A-bolt 2. Browning did a heck of a job on these, really nice. That might be the easiest way to tell if you've got an AB3 or an A-bolt or A-bolt 2. How nice is it? I mean, the A-bolt 3 is a nice rifle. They really put some nice craftsmanship into this. I mean, look at all that etching, beautiful engraving there on the sides. I mean, over the top. Really nice kind of rifle you would pass down. Now go ahead and take your trigger guard. All right, that's the smaller diameter screw, just in case you got them mixed up. Place that. All right, now go ahead and get it started. You just want to get it snug, then we're going to cinch it down here in a second. Now take your box magazine with the screw, All right, go ahead and clip it in place, hold it down. All right, just snug. Now we're gonna just tighten them down evenly, just so we get an even amount of torque all the way around. All right, good to go. Now let's go ahead and insert our bolt to line up the lugs. All right, and you'll feel them kind of locate there, then hit the bolt release and slide it forward. Nice. Now let's go ahead and do a function check. Place the weapon on safe, pull the trigger, nothing, good. Pull the trigger, oh, beautiful, man. That is sweet. That is right where you want it. Let's go ahead and test this trigger pull. Now let's see what kind of modified trigger pull we got. 5.3 ounces. Let's take one more to confirm. 5.5 ounces. Well, there you have it, guys. From 1.5 pounds down to 0.5 pound. Really impressive. 60% trigger pull reduction. Now, we went as light as you can go. This is an adjustable trigger. You can dial it in where you need to be. So if you want to go a little heavier than that, you can. It's perfectly safe. It's drop test proof. We drop test the crap out of these. That's why you pay for what you get. It's already tested, approved, good to go. You don't have to beat the crap out of your firearm. I don't like doing this. But just fine. So I don't recommend throwing your firearms around anyway, so if you're good trigger finger discipline, you're not walking around with it off safety, right? You're putting the safety on. If you got a round in the chamber, you know, good practices really go a long way. So there it is, guys, really impressive. This is a rival to what's already out there, but I think it's a much better trigger spring kit than what you might find out on the market and way more affordable. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thank you, MCARBO Brotherhood, for your ideas and your support. And as always, happy shooting.